Hi, so welcome. This is lesson 9, Form 1. We're going to do a quick recap of chapter 2, which is factors and multiples. Now, when I say recap, I always will explain to you what you will be learning in this chapter. So, your chapter 2, okay, chapter 2 of your maths, okay, which talks about factors and multiples. All right. So, the first thing you learn is what are factors? Okay, what are factors? Then you learn about common factors. What are common factors? And after that, you learned about prime factors. This is your revision of your year 6. So prime numbers and then linked up. If they are prime numbers and they are factors, then they are called prime factors. And the last part of it is finding the highest common factor. Now, this is for the factor part. Now, the multiple part is first you learn what is a multiple. Then you learn to find a common multiple. And then there is no prime multiple or whatsoever. You straight away go and find your lowest common multiple, LCM. So end of the day, chapter 2 is all about finding your highest common factor and your lowest common multiple. Now, for the rest of you, this is a recap. So far, do you all understand what we have been doing? Rishabh, Danya, Tristan?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, or have you all forgotten by any chance? Okay, now let's explain with some numbers. Okay, so let's start. Rishabh, I've got a number here, 12. Tell me, Rishabh, what are my factors for 12?
1, 2,
1, 1, 2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
6, and 12 itself.
and 12. Danya, is Rishabh's answer correct?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so if these are factors, can we now summarize what is factors? Can somebody tell me what are exactly factors? If this is the example of factors for 12, then what exactly are factors?
Number divided by.
Correct, numbers that you can divide 12 with. So for example, 12 can divide with 1, you'll get 12. 12 can divide with 2, you'll get 6. 12 can divide with 3, you'll get 4. Do you understand? And in this list of factors, okay, if you happen to see a prime number, then there is a prime factor for 12. Do you understand? Say, for example, what is the prime number here, guys? Can anybody point it out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Which is the prime?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Do you understand? So 2 and 3 are known to be now as the prime factors of 12. Okay. Now, factors, I can add another number here. Maybe I'll say 15. Now, can I have Tristan? Tristan, tell me now all the factors for 15.
1, 3,
1, 3. Some more?
15,
Not yet to 15. There's one more between that. Remember, if 15 divided by 1 is 15, then 15 divided by 3 is what?
5.
5. Do you understand, Tristan?
yes,
Okay, you don't miss the 5 out. Okay, so 1, 3, 5, and 15. Now, again, these are the factors for 15. And if I ask you, what are the prime factors here for 15? Tristan? What are the prime factors?
1,
Remember, 1 is not a prime. 1 can never, ever be a prime. Okay?
3 and 5,
That's right. 3 and 5. So now you understand prime factors. Okay, good. And now coming to the third one, common factor. Common factor means these are the factors for 12 and these are the factors for 15. What is common between them?
3.
3, exactly. 3 is a common factor between 12 and 15. All right. I don't want to ask Fatin, does she understand or not? Because I think it's... So far, Fatin, are you okay with this?
Yes.
All right, okay. Don't worry, you will catch up slowly, okay? So
Hi,
this
teacher.
is... Hi, Sridhar. Okay, welcome. So we're just having a recap of factors, okay? So these are factors, numbers that you can divide with. Remember, factors is division, okay? And this method, all right, of listing out is called the listing method. And then you can figure out prime factors, and you can also figure out what is the common factor between these two numbers. Of course, there is another way. We call this a Venn diagram. This is important. What is a Venn diagram? It looks like two circles interlocking with each other. Okay. All right. Venn diagram looks like this. Two circles that has an interlocking space, which is like a common space. Do you understand? And then it also will have a sort of a border outside. So over here, I'm using the same example, 12 and 15. Okay, 12 and 15 are my numbers. Now, what other factors? Of course, we forgot one thing. There was a common factor of 1. Remember? 1 goes into both. Okay, then we have 2. Okay, we have 3 for both. Okay, both numbers. This is for the number 12 and this is for the number 15. Okay, 3 for both. 3 is a factor for both. 4 is not in the game. 5 is a factor for 15. 6 is a factor for 12.
4 for 12.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4. Missed out 4. 4 is a factor for 12. So start with 1. 2 is a factor for 12. 3 is a factor for both. 4 is a factor for 12. 5 is a factor for 15. 6 is a factor for 17. 7 is a factor, but it's not for 12 nor 15. So you write 7 outside the circle. Do you understand? Now 8. It is also not a factor for 12 or 15. So you write it outside. 9. 9 is also not a factor for 8 or 15 or 12. So you write it outside. So goes with 10. So goes with 11. And then, of course, 12 is a factor for 12 itself. And then you have 13 outside. You also have 14 sitting outside. They're all factors, but not for 12 and 15. You understand? And of course, the last one, 15 itself. Now, over here, there are few things that you are looking at. Number 1, you are understanding what you are learning what are factors. Factors are all the numbers that you can divide with. So the factors for 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. The factors for 15 is 1, 3, 5, and 15. Now, this common area where you have 1 and 3 is a factor that's shared by both 12 and 15. So we call this common factor. Do you understand? All the numbers outside the Venn diagram, they're also factors, but they're just not factors of 12 and 15. So far, if you understand, can I have a thumbs up from all of you? Boleh? Good. So let's stop here. Okay, not stop really. Let's move on to multiples. Okay, so now we're going to move or have a quick recap of multiples. Now remember, in multiples, what do we learn? First, we learn what are multiples. We learn common multiples. Okay, and we learn lowest common multiple. These are the 3 things we will learn. Now, what are multiples? Again, the word itself tells you the meaning. Multiples means multiply that number and it becomes more and more. For example, what is the multiple of 2? Starts with 2, 4, 6, 8, and blah, blah, blah. You see
all
that?
the other even numbers.
Yes. What is the multiple of 3? 3,
3,
6,
6, 9, 12,
9, 12,
15,
blah, blah,
18.
blah. Okay. Got it? Okay. And so this is multiples. And so what are common multiples then? Common multiples are multiples that are common for two numbers. For example, you look here, 6 and 6. This is called a common multiple. You have another common multiple, 12 and 12. You see that? So 6 is a common multiple for 2 and 3. 12 is another common multiple for 2 and 3. Got it? Ah, sure. No problem, Fahim. You can do that. Okay, sorry, that was just a message. Now, what about lowest common multiple? Lowest common multiple is this number. That's the lowest, that's the smallest of the common multiples. Remember, common multiples can go on and on. Okay, there can be many, many common multiples. You don't want to find the highest common multiple for what? It's never ending. Numbers never end. So you want to find the lowest common multiple. Got that? And this is via listing it. Okay? Clear the drawing. So again, recap. What are we supposed to find? The most important takeaway from this chapter is highest common factor, the HCF, and lowest common multiple. These is the two things we want to find. Now, how can we do this fast, quick, and correct? Without drawing and without listing, is there any other way? Yes, there is one final method which will get you these answers very fast. Okay, and I call it, not I call it, I think it's really called the division method. Okay, I don't think there's any particular name to it. Okay, all right, what is this method? Okay, I will use that same example that we used earlier, 12 and 15. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write down 12 and 15 like this. Okay, and guys, look here. I'm going to write a division which is like this. It's like almost upside down. Remember last time when you do division, let's say 15 divided by 3, you will write like this. Yes or not? And you'll find your answer 5. This is like a reverse division. Okay, you write 12, you write a comma, and you write 15. Why? Because these are the two numbers we are using as example. Okay, 12 and 15. We want to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple between these two numbers. Got it? What do? Step 1, we write the number down like this. Okay. Step 2, we start asking what are the numbers that I can divide it with. For example, 3, that both can be divided, not one only, okay, that both can divide with. What number can be divided by both 12 and 15? What would that be?
3, 4 and 5, I guess.
Very good. Oh, you mean the answer. Good. Okay, if you divide by 3, then your answer down here, 12 divided by 3 would be 4. And for the 15 divided by 3 would be 5. You got it? Now, is there any other number that can divide both with 4 and 5? Is there any other number? No. So if you have got no more numbers that can divide, that particular number that you have found is the highest common factor for 12 and 15. Do you understand? Okay, again, I repeat, if you have got no more numbers that you can divide with for both, then that particular number that you found, that particular factor is to be your highest common factor. Makes sense, right or not? And now to find my lowest common multiple, I move on, I carry on with the division. Now, this time, I don't have to use both numbers. I use one number. I'm going to use 2 because 2 can divide by 4. You see that? So I'm going to put 2 and then I'm going to get here 2. But I will retain the 5 because I'm not going to disturb it. It's not a common factor that I'm finding. I'm going to go into multiples. Again, I'm going to divide this with 2 because 2 can divide by 2 and I'm going to get 1. And again, I'll have my 5 here, retain the 5. And I'm going to divide this now with 5, giving me again this 1 here and finally another 1 here. Do you understand? So now you have got a range of numbers here already. Okay. All right, let's pause for a while.